Welcome to InFocus Town Talk for the town of Pembroke. I am Donna Rodriguez, and today I am joined by our town manager, Bill Chenard. Welcome, Bill. How are you today?
Doing well. Great to be here.
Thank you. It's amazing how in a period of a month things change and get so much busier as soon as we hit the fall for everything going on with town government. So we'd love to have you just give us a general update on some of the things that are happening. I know there's so much happening with, the 40B River Marsh and a few other things with the community center. Can you give us a general update to start?
Sure. So let's go ahead and start with the 40B River Marsh. That one's been ongoing for, since last winter when they filed their application. So we've been back and forth. They've been coming in to the ZBA on several meetings. I know the residents have been attending those meetings and had a pretty robust discussion, which is good. It's what we want when we have projects such as this. There was a slight hiccup this week where continuance was requested. We granted that continuance. It happens. This is likely, I think, the third continuance in this process. Things go back and forth, so it's important that we recognize that and move it. Keep abreast of what's going on with it. Check out the town's website. We will be meeting again the end of next month, and that will likely pick up at that point. The ZBA is getting very close to have to make that decision on whether they approve it or deny it. We're up against the time constraints for that. So any input that the citizens or residents of the community have, should be sent to the ZBA. I know most of the input is in now, but please go ahead and forward any information so that they have all the information they need to make a good informed decision.
And this has definitely been an ongoing process and been keeping everybody in the community updated throughout the process. So I think this is the first time there's been a delayed meeting. So is there, the ZBA is the appropriate group for people to contact if they have questions at this point?
Well, if they have questions about the project or comments about the project, the ZBA is definitely the group that is the decision-making body for a 40B project under the state statute. So those types of comments should go to the zoning board. If they have questions about legal process or other things, they can contact the town manager's office.
Okay, thank you. And also the community center, that was a project that was on the spring town meeting. Can you give us an update on what's happening there?
Sure, we're real excited about the community center. Since the Springtown meeting, obviously the voters approved the project. We have gone out to bid for borrowing. The bonds came in. We had projected a total interest cost of 2%. We knew that was going to be slightly conservative, and we had hoped to get real good interest that we actually have. The total interest cost came in at 1.85. Which obviously is 15 basis points below where we had projected. So that is a savings overall to the community and very good news for us. On the other side, for the project piece, we've engaged an owner's project manager, which is required under state statute. And then we're working with the architect and the owner's project manager, and more updates to come soon on that. We're going to have a couple of public meetings where we have them present. We think we can move that schedule up a little bit, so the building will be completed before we had estimated, which is good news. We were looking at, roughly 18 months of construction before. We think we can shorten that to 12 to 14 months, which is good news. Get it open quick, not from now, but from when we start the construction. Obviously, we have, finalizing of the plans, the bidding process, which can take several months. We would anticipate that the community center would come down. The existing community center would be taken down sometime after the first, more likely after March 1st of next year, and that the building will go up rather quickly after that. So we're excited. That the building is tired that we have there, and the new community center is just going to explode the center and really bring a positive building with unbelievably good programs for the residents of the town of Pembroke.
And there's been a lot of really positive energy, as you say, about this project, and it's been something that's been in the works for so many years. If people just keep an eye on the website, are they going to be able to get updates regularly? Is there a particular committee they should be following in order to have an
So,
understanding of what's happening?
yeah, so the select board will be acting as the building committee, and we're actually going to have a project website. So that'll get up, probably in the next couple of months as we really get into the nitty gritty of the project. There'll be weekly updates on that project website, and every select board meeting I'll be giving a construction update. So, watch PACTV. The select board meetings are broadcast live, and several rebroadcasts and available on demand from PACTV. So go ahead and watch the meetings on PACTV, and you'll get the construction updates that I give at every board meeting.
And if people go to pactv.org and they look for watch under the Town of Pembroke, they're going to be able to see all the different ways they can watch all of the boards and committee meetings to be able to get updated information. Which leads us to a really good topic, because the month of October, Fall Town Meeting. There's so much happening, and we're looking forward to covering it. Can you give us an update, just a quick preview on what people can expect from this town meeting?
Yeah, this is a relatively shorter town meeting compared to what we do most of our business in the spring. We do have 9 warrant articles. It is scheduled for Tuesday, October 19th, not October 9th, October 19th at the high school. So people can get there. I guess I didn't say 7 o'clock at the high school. So residents can check in. We're expecting a good turnout, which is good. We always want robust debate around articles. Most of the articles are relatively routine in nature. And I think, we probably want to take a run through those. Just to give people an update, but stay tuned, watch select board meetings, check in on the town's website. There'll be numerous updates as we move through the process. I know the select board voted a majority of the articles at their meeting last Wednesday. The advisor will be meeting Monday night, also available on PACTV. Watch that, because the advisory gets into the financial articles pretty much, they do a nice job getting into the detail and the nitty gritty of that. So if it's okay, Donna, I'll just go through quickly and go through the articles.
Thank you. That'd be great.
All right. So Article 1 is to balance the current year's budget. That what that does is when we close our books, the snow and ice, no community in Massachusetts ever budgets snow and ice. It's the one line item that you can deficit spend under the statute, which is kind of funny. So nobody ever budgets 100% of what they expect to spend. We do have a deficit of just over $314,000, which we would anticipate closing in the fall via a free cash appropriation. That's Article 1. It's fairly routine. We want to do that because it closes the books. If you don't do that, you have to take the money out of your next year's levy, and we don't want to take money out of the levy for FY22. We want to close out 21 in a proper method by using the free cash to do that. Article 2 is authorize the payment of unpaid bills. The statute says if the bills aren't paid by June 30th or encumbered, that you have to go to town meeting and get approval to do that. So we do have 3 unpaid bills. It's just over $6,600. Those were bills that came in late and weren't encumbered, that weren't paid. So we're asking town meeting to pay those. Again, a very routine article. Article 3 is a supplement article for the current fiscal 22 budget. We would anticipate some borrowing updates to that. Obviously, in the spring when we appropriated the funds, we didn't know what the debt load was going to be for the community center. We now know that. We know that we got a 1.85% total interest cost, and we know what that cost is. So we'll be updating that. This one, again, routine, expected. Just want to make sure that we clean that up. Article 4 is a capital. We have a handful of items on the capital, things from tablets for field inspections, what will make our building inspection process much more robust. We have online permitting, which is good. If you want to file a permit for a building, you can do that online now. You don't have to come to town hall. That was one of our big COVID updates, so that we can, allow people to do that from the luxury of their office or their home, and right through to 2 large HVAC units at the high school, which is part of the program there, and a whole bunch of playground and heating stuff for one of our secondary fire stations. The furnaces failed, so we have $30,000 to go do that. Article 5 is trust fund transfers. These are just things that we normally would do. We're funding the special injury leave fund. We are self-insured for workers' comp, so we want to make sure that we have that. So we're funding the workers' compensation insurance fund at $75,000. And then the water stabilization fund. We take the entrance fees and we put them into a stabilization fund because those fees are required to be used for water operations. And what we do with that is we sum those up, and then the succeeding year we put them into the stabilization fund to make sure those fees are used for indeed water operations. So Article 6, great idea that the schools brought up. This one, the bond rating agencies love that. That we're a AA stable community. We'd love to get to AAA. One of the ways to get that is to look at where you have potential financial obligations that aren't necessarily met. Make sure you put the money aside to do that. The schools are requesting that we create a stabilization fund for special education. They had some turnback from last year. And we're going to recommend taking $150,000 and put it in a stabilization fund. You may recall a couple of years ago, we had an issue where we had large special education costs and we had to make some, reductions and move some money around in the spring. This will help us to not have that occur. And bond rating agencies love that. They love it when you identify problems and solutions to those problems. So yeah, this is one of those. Article 7 are the community preservation projects. We have 5 this year. Most of them are related to construction projects that are ongoing. The first one is $8,700 or just over $8,700 for the Mattakesa Street Playground. When we started doing that project, we realized that the fence needed to be replaced. This is to accomplish that. The second motion under there is $75,000 for the schools on their athletic fields. They want to make sure they can bring baseball back to the high school. They're playing at Magoon, which the JV team plays at Magoon, which isn't great. It's an undersized field and it is challenging for them. So this is phase 2 of a 3 or 4 phase project. The next article is $15,000 to look at the Hatch building downtown here. The deed requires us to use the building for educational purposes. The building is tired, and with the new community center project, the Hatch building being immediately adjacent to that, we want to take a look at what we can do and how we can improve and spiffy that one up a bit. The next one is $135,000 for the town landing project. As you know, when we went out to bid, because of the COVID increase in cost, the price of that went up from what the original bids were. This will complete that, allow us to make that fully functional with disabilities with all the sidewalks, even, allow wheelchairs to get onto the docks and the water. So an outstanding project. We just want to make sure we can complete that. And then the final one for recommendation under the Community Preservation Act is $1,000 to replace the sign at the GAR Hall. So good move there. Make sure that, that again, it's adjacent to the new community center project. So we want our downtown to look really good. Article 8, we have a property owner who said he's got land adjacent to our cemetery. Obviously, we want to be able to have as many cemetery plots as possible. He's willing to sell it to us relatively cheap, $6,700. So we're recommending that we go ahead and buy that so that we can, make sure that we have available cemetery plots. And then the final article is a citizens petition. The select board formed a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. There's a group of citizens that didn't think that was the right idea, so they put forward a citizens petition to allow town meeting to review that. There are 2 sides to that. I think the board recognized that diversity, equity, and inclusion is important to the community and wanted to do the right thing. And the folks that are opposed to it are afraid that there aren't enough restrictions on that committee and that the committee will go beyond where they're comfortable with. So we encourage citizen petitions. We encourage robust debate. This one has gone back and forth several times recently at board meetings, and we'll likely have very robust debate at town meeting. I would encourage people to understand what the board's trying to do and understand actually what the citizen petition is trying to do, so that you can come in informed to the town meeting, take a look at the meetings where it's been discussed, take a look at the information that's posted on our website, and come to town meeting informed. And so that's a basic summary of all 9 articles for town meeting. Again, it's October 19th, 7 o'clock at the high school.
And Bill, can I ask, there's, even though it's a short warrant, there's a lot that's important for residents to be informed. And where can they go? Is it just that, should they look up the warrant on the town website?
So they absolutely should look up the warrant on the website. Now that's going to give you what I just told you. Mm-hmm. The real robust discussion around it is board meetings. So if you take a look at the select board meeting from last week, the select board meeting from this week, and advisor on Monday night. Advisors meeting 7 o'clock Monday night to go over the warrant on PACTV. Or you can come to the meeting in person if you choose, but I would encourage everyone to stay home, watch it on PACTV. Unless you have a specific question that you want to ask the advisory committee, watch on PACTV. It's great. You can sit, have a cup of coffee, enjoy it from your chair in your living room.
So the ways people can choose to watch it, they go to pactv.org and click on the watch button. They can choose how to watch meetings from the town of Pembroke. That will give them the opportunity to choose if they are available to watch it live at home on their channels, if they're out of town and they need to watch it online live, or if they can watch it as a video on demand after the meeting. So there are a lot of different options. With background for the warrant, are there ways that people can get additional information? And I know that Article 9 definitely brings a lot of passion for many people. Are there ways that people can find the background behind that to be able to make their own decisions or bring questions?
Sure. I'll tell people to take a look at our website. I would also encourage people to communicate. Come ask the town manager questions, ask board members questions, ask the folks who are supporting the warrant article questions. Read the warrant article. Read the DEI mission statement that the board has. All of that's available for people to do. It's the best way to be informed is to know the intent, which is in the mission statement, and the intent of those who have come forward with the citizens petition.
Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to touch on today for Town Talk?
I think we've covered it. I enjoy this. I think it's a great service. And obviously I sounded like an ad for PACTV today, but I can't say enough about that. I mean, it is an incredible service for the citizens of the town of Pembroke.
Well, thank you, because we are a partner with the town. So, our job literally is to help put out the information that is available to all residents so they can make informed decisions about government, and so they can also be aware of what's happening in town government. So Town Talk is available monthly. It's also available on the website. And we thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in November, because we'll be able to talk about all the things that happened in town meeting.
My pleasure. I'll see you then.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you everybody for joining us today for InFocus Town Talk for the town of Pembroke.